Kicking off, number 86, Tom Warren for the Southeast Seminoles, and we're almost set for football. Homecoming night, and it should be quite a football game right here on Channel 25, Group W. The crowd is on its feet. And Warren is ready to boot. Steve Gaskin is the deep man. Gaskin, of course, the quick tailback for the Canes, averaging almost 100 yards per ball game. Referee giving some last-minute instructions. And here comes the kick by Warren. It's an end-over-end taken, I believe, by Joe Bennett. Bennett out over the 25-yard line, gets by the 30, and he's got some running room. Bennett's on the outside. He's out over midfield. Joe Bennett. Quite a start.
Manatee comes into this game 28-point favorites, according to the Dunkel Index. 4 touchdowns.
Boy, Joe Bennett, he'll be doing the punting tonight, probably. He was punting some in before the game, as was number 30, Sean Force. Force was booting the ball rather well on the sidelines. Okay, Manatee comes out, all set their offense. After the first play, of course, the quarterback is Rodney Sanders, Steve Gaskin, and Al Clark are the backs. It's Gaskin. He gets about 2 over the middle. Okay, let's set the Manatee offense. As I said, Sanders the quarterback, Gaskin and Clark the running backs. The wide receivers, Derek Mays and Joe Bennett. The tight end, Dwayne Cheese. The line, Mark Robertson, Macy Mitchell, Troy French, Troy Edwards, and Eric Stickler. John Stickler is still out. He had his appendix removed 2 weeks ago. It's 2nd and 7, the ball on the 45-yard line. Sanders again off to Gaskin, good running room, but the hole quickly closes. Now let me set that Southeast defense. Very good Southeast defense. The front 5, they play a 5-2 defense. Ball, Jackson, Earl Hines, Don Newman, and Maurice Lee. The linebackers, Bowden and Washington, Perkins and Thomas on the corners, and Price and Sutton are the safeties. It's 3rd and 5 for the Canes. Sanders looks like he wants to throw, looks downfield, passes incomplete. So, Southeast comes out and stops Manatee on the first drive. Let's see who's going to come in and punt.
That Southeast defense was quite a contrast to what we're used to seeing, Dave, where Manatee backs just run through holes for 10 and 12 yards at a pop. Southeast was there every time.
Well, it's Joe Bennett coming on for the punting. It's 4th and 5. Bennett, a low snap, but he gets it no problem. Kicks it. It's a short kick. Hits at about the 30-yard line. Takes a Southeast bounce, and it's down at about the 31-yard line.
That wasn't more than about an 8-yard kick. The absence of Trey Walker will be felt severely, perhaps.
Well, one thing Coach Canan said, it might force him to kick a little bit longer field goal tonight, say maybe a 50-55-yarder, when he would have used Trey Walker trying to kick it in the corner for a coffin corner. He might bring Elton on tonight for a long field goal. Here comes Southeast, starting in the backfield for the Seminoles, Ed Brown and Earl Hines. The give is to the back man, Brown. He's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. That's Betts in on the play. Chris Betts will set the Southeast defense. The quarterback is George Brown, number 22. The tailback, Ed Brown, number 40. The fullback, Big Earl Hines. The receivers, Jesse Price and Kevin Daniels. Ed Purvis is the tight end. And across the line, Frazier, Greenhall, White, Jones, and Newman. 2nd and 10, no gain on the last play. Ball on the 31-yard line. And it's a quarterback keeper, and Ed Brown is dashing down, and he's going for the end zone. He's not going to be caught. Touchdown! Oh my, what a pitch by quarterback George Brown. And Manatee is shocked. George Brown at the last minute pitched out to Ed Brown, and he was history.
69 yards down the sidelines.
Boy, oh boy, Ed Brown turned on the afterburners, and that was all she wrote, sports fans. The extra point attempt is good. Tom Warren boots it in, and Southeast has the lead 7-0. We'll be back with more football action right after this. Well, Southeast has shocked these fans at Manatee High School as tailback Ed Brown has just romped 69 yards for the touchdown, and Southeast kicking off. Gaskin, the deep man, and he has it. He's running up the middle of the field. He has some running room out over the 30-yard line. Tackled at about the 32, and these Southeast fans are fired up. They're sitting right below us, and they are indeed enthusiastic.
Hats off to the Southeast offensive coaches. That was an imaginative play. Just beautiful.
Sucked the Manatee defense in, and Brown at the last moment pitched it out to his counterpart, another Brown, and Ed scampered all the way, 69 yards. My, oh my, I was just setting the Southeast offense. Didn't even have time to do that, and they're on the scoreboard.
I'm sure that's how the Southeast coaches wanted it, Dave.
Well, now Manatee back on offense. Rodney Sanders off the gasket. He's corralled at the line of scrimmage. Doyce Jackson in on the tackle. Jackson, number 95, changed jerseys tonight. Usually number 95, number 99 rather. Tonight he's 95. Him and Wayman Bowden are the defensive standouts for the Southeast Seminoles. 8:45 to play. The score, Southeast 7, Manatee 0. Sanders wants to throw. He's getting pressured. He's sacked. James Ball in on the tackle. Ball is that sophomore. I saw him in the training room yesterday getting worked over a little bit, and 6'1", 180-pound sophomore. And boy, he's quick off the defensive end.
The momentum is definitely to the Seminoles.
3rd and 16, the ball spotted on the 27-yard line. Bennett and Mays are far to the near side. Looking downfield, it's caught and dropped by Gaskin. The Southeast coaches are not far from where we're broadcasting from, and no doubt you can hear them. It's a fired-up bunch of Seminoles. It will be 4th down in a punting situation, and Joe Bennett will be called on to punt for the 2nd time tonight. Standing room only. They're standing about 50 deep. 4th and 16, ball on the 27-yard line. Bennett gets the punt off, calling for a fair catch. His quarterback, George Brown. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Southeast Seminoles at their own 45-yard line.
Again, good field position for the Seminoles. Let's see if they can do it 2 times in a row.
7-0 if you're just joining us. Ed Brown went 69 yards on a pitch from George Brown, and the Seminoles are out in front. Stanley Boyd is in the game now. Probably Brown is still resting on the sidelines. And Brown will keep it, running around left end. He's got some running room out over the 40. He's tackled at the 35-yard line. Number 51 in on the stop for Manatee. That's Zach Samuel.
That play worked very nicely. He rolled, and there was nobody there. 10 yards down the field before he was touched.
Little fake in the middle, Jim. Sucked the defense in once again.
Very nice.
We'll set that Manatee defense as soon as we get a chance. It's 1st and 10, ball on the 35-yard line. Brown, the quarterback. Gives off to Stanley Boyd over right tackle. Boyd maybe gets 2. And it's a good time to set that Manatee defense. The front line, they play a 4-3 defense. Chris Betts, Jason Potter, Dwayne Cheese, and Zach Samuel. The linebackers, Clyburn, Howard, and Cucci. On the corners, Farron Horns and Brian Rose. The safeties, Larry Taylor, and the veteran, Scott Fulford. 2nd and 8, the ball on the 33-yard line. Earl Hines up the middle. He gets about 3. No, that was Brown. No, that was Hines, number 41. They're backs, 40, 41, and 42, right in a row there. Earl Hines, the big fullback.
Big one, 6 feet, 218 pounds.
He's going both ways tonight. He's also playing nose guard. That's why I thought they might be giving him a breather early, but they're going with now Hines and Stanley Boyd in the backfield in I formation. They'll work out of that I most of the time. Brown pitches to Ed Brown. He's got some running room again. He's tackled, but he gets the first down.
Same exact play that Brown broke for a touchdown. Manatee needs to defense that. They did not look good on that one either. No one was close to him.
Farron Horns over on the far side to knock him out of bounds. 1st and 10, ball on the 21-yard line. Boy, they look quick tonight.
They certainly do.
A little different from the way they came out when we saw them against Palmetto several weeks ago. Difference of night and day. 1st and 10, ball on the 21. Brown, and he's in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. George Brown is tackled. Chris Betts in on the stop. Chris Betts and Jason Potter, and that's what the Hurricanes' defensive front needs to do, put some pressure on Brown.
That looked very similar, Dave, to the play earlier when he ripped off 20 yards around that left end. This time, nowhere.
2nd and 18. Could be a throwing situation. Brown, play action pass, looks downfield, has his man. It's complete, and the ball is down inside the 5-yard line. That's big Ed Purvis, the tight end.
He was wide open on Farron Horn's corner, our player of the week. Last week, didn't make the play on that one.
Ed Purvis caught a touchdown last week. He's caught 4 passes for 41 yards coming into this ball game. Last week in the shutout, he caught a touchdown pass. So they're starting to throw to Purvis a little bit more, the big tight end. 6'1", 193-pound senior. Their 1st and goal from the 2. Pitch back is to Brown. Touchdown! Ed Brown around right end. And the Seminoles have jumped out to a 13-0 lead. Unbelievable. Boy, oh boy, I watched our replay of the Sarasota Southeast game, and that, you know, I saw the in person against Palmetto and then saw the Southeast Sarasota game on tape, and this is a different team.
It certainly is.
Extra point is good by Warren, and that makes the score 14-0. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll be back to talk a little bit about this new Southeast team. They're up 14-0, 4:45 to play in the first quarter. Tom Warren will be kicking off Southeast in a stunning upset so far. Of course, we're just barely underway, but it's 14-0. Joe Bennett has the ball, and he's running out in the middle of the field, stopped at about the 32-yard line. The Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10. I'm stunned. I don't know about, I would say the majority of the people here are too.
I would say especially the Manatee fans. It looks like, being as close as we are to the Southeast bench, that what we're really seeing is one team desiring to win more than another. Southeast is really pumped up.
Okay, 1st and 10, ball on the 31. Sanders hands off to Clark. He's got a lot of running room, and he's out over mid-line, and he's out to the 40. Hal Clark. Big hole over the left side of that offensive line. That's Macy Mitchell. Mark Robertson on that left side of the line.
I thought he was gone. I thought it was Gaskins, a jitterbug, and he would have been gone. Anyway, look at it, 30 yards. A lot of excitement, Dave. Great football.
And Sanders is sacked back at the 45. Good defense. Number 52, Maurice Leon on the tackle. So just as Manatee opens something up, Southeast defense buckles down.
Manatee has that line with a great reputation. The big boys, and Southeast is just shredding them.
2nd and 16. Sanders wants to throw. Has his man Bennett on the far side, but he's driven out of bounds short of the 40-yard line.
Manatee has found itself in a dogfight tonight.
And that's an understatement. 3:34 to play. 3rd and 11. Ball just shy of the 40. We'll call it the 40. Big play for Manatee. Handoff is to Clark, and he's short of the first down. A surprising call. I guess they figured it worked the first time for big yardage. We'll go back to it. And it'll be 4th down. 4th and 9, and let's see. A punting situation. Joe Bennett is dropping back to punt. And the deep man for Southeast is speedster Jesse Price, number 1, and George Brown, the quarterback, number 22. Ball spotted on the 38-yard line. Joe Bennett, low snap. Bennett gets it off. Not a bad kick this time. Let's see if it goes into the end zone. Nice bounce, and boy, oh boy, that's a heck of a kick. That's down inside the 5, inside the 10 at least, on the far side. So Bennett coffin cornered that baby.
You can tell that Bennett is not a punter. His style is not polished. He's just getting by on sheer athletic ability.
Well, it did go into the end zone, so it'll be out to the 20-yard line. I thought he got it before it went into the end zone. Hard to see. It was way over on the far side where thousands and thousands of fans are.
The people at home have the best seats in the house, right here on Group W, Channel 25.
Pleased to be bringing you this Southeast Manatee game so far, dominated by the Seminoles, as they're up 14-zip, 2:46 to play. Hines off right tackle for a couple.
Two possessions for the Seminoles and 2 touchdowns.
Both by Ed Brown, but a big contrast. One a 2-yarder, one a 69-yarder. Yes, you heard me right. 69-yard touchdown run.
He was not touched.
A good pitch by the quarterback, George Brown, to his buddy Ed Brown, and he was off to the races.
Tony Conboy could have got a first down on that play, I guarantee you. At least a first down.
2nd and 7. Couple yards again for Hines. Group W presenting a doubleheader this week. You saw the Bayshore Jesuit game on Saturday. Now you're watching Southeast Manatee. Next week, we'll have a good one. Bayshore at Palmetto. Both teams playing extremely well in the early season. But right here, it's 3rd and 5 for the Seminoles. Ball on the 25-yard line. Brown back to throw. Has his man, but it's incomplete. Good defense. Number 42. And on the defensive play, Brian Rose.
That could have very easily been snatched away for a touchdown. He got one hand on it, another hand, and he may have been gone.
Intended receiver, Kevin Daniels. Yeah, I think he was a little bit surprised. Looked up and said, hey, there it is. Only got one arm on it.
He kind of just floated out there.
Tim Rowell will be punting for Southeast. Good pressure by Horns, but Rowell gets the kickoff. And, oh, boy! Stanley Boyd just levels Larry Taylor. Oh, what a hit.
That scared me. I saw that hit, and I was scared.
Don't you think Taylor might call for a fair catch next time?
He made a nice play. Both boys made a nice play, but I'm a good 50 yards away, but I saw that coming, and I got a little nervous.
Manatee back on offense. Ball spotted on the 41-yard line of the Hurricanes. Clark up the middle. He gets about 3 yards out to the 44-yard line. Joyce Jackson in on the stop. Jackson, a big-time college prospect.
Southeast is very intense now. You can see it in Coach Meckley. You can see it in the players. If they can keep this intensity, Manatee is in big trouble.
2nd and 6. We'll give them 4. Sanders wants to pitch back. He gets it to Gaskin, who reverses his field. But good pursuit by Southeast. Excellent pursuit. Maurice Lee in on the stop. Dwight Sutton coming in from his corner position. And he lost a yard. It'll be 3rd and 7. What pursuit by that Seminole defense.
And I'm sure Joe Canan and the Manatee coaching staff got a little bit grayer on that play. Very dangerous.
3rd and 7, ball on the 43. Joe Bennett to the near side. And that's the end of the quarter. We have a surprise. Southeast is leading Manatee, the top-ranked team in the state. The score, 14-0. Back at Hawkins Stadium, Dave Bristow and Jim Curtis. And Manatee has a 3rd and 7 situation from the 43-yard line of the Canes. Southeast out in front, 14-0. Let's see what Joe Canan sends in. Sanders back to throw, looking downfield, has his man Mays, complete, 1st down to the 40-yard line.
Nice timing. Beautiful timing by Sanders to Mays. Split the zone, he rifled it, 1st down.
Derek Mays, 5'9", 150-pound junior, coming into the game, had caught 3 passes for 55 yards, averaging a little over 18 yards per catch, and got about that on that play. It'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 39-yard line. The Canes starting to move the ball a little now. I formation, pitch back to Gaskin. Gaskin is corralled and sacked. Who is that? Trying to spot that number. I believe it's 83, Dwight Sutton.
I was talking to Tad Reed, the Herald sports writer, during our timeout, and he says the Southeast defense is for real. And I know Tad knows football.
I'll take his word for it. 2nd and 11, ball on the 41-yard line. Sanders wants to throw. Looks downfield. The ball is behind Mays. Same play they ran about a minute ago, but that one was unsuccessful. He had Mays open. Covering on the play, Jeff Hall. And Dwight Sutton. Check that, Jesse Price back there, and Jeff Hall. Third and 11, ball on the 41-yard line. Up the middle, good running room for Gaskin. No, that's Clark, the fullback. He gets out to the 25-yard line. That play's working so far with Clark off the right tackle.
3 carries for Clark of 3 yards, 30 yards, and now 15 yards.
I believe Southeast looking for Manatee to run the ball outside. They're gaining some good ground on the inside running of Al Clark. 1st and 10 on the 23-yard line. Gaskin, a little bit of movement by Gaskin, and it's going to be a illegal procedure call, 5-yard penalty. So it'll be 1st and 15. Trying to see if Earl Hines is in there at nose guard.
There
He
he
was
is.
going to play both ways, and I think the big guy's in there. Yes, he is.
He looks like he might be a linebacker. No, he used that nose guard.
Big Earl Hines playing both ways. 1st and 15. Ball on the 28-yard line. Sanders pitches to Gaskin. Good move by Gaskin. He's out to about the 23-yard line. Pick
Earl
up a 5.
Hines. Earl Hines, number 41, came from nose guard and made that tackle.
Hines all over the field. Him along with Tom Washington, the linebacker, stopped Steve Gaskin.
Manatee has to miss Troy Walker's blocking ability. 6'5", 212.
Not to mention his punting ability and his catching ability.
A bona fide blue chip All-American prospect.
Sanders wants to throw, looking downfield. Ball is knocked down. Good defensive play by Earl Hines. We've called his name out quite a bit. Earl making a name for himself on defense. It'll be 3rd down for the Hurricanes on 11. And Joe Canan and his staff have to be shaking their heads a little bit. Donnie Waiters is in the game. He's split to the near side. Sanders looking downfield. He's scrambling. He has some running room. He's out over the 20, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. He'll be short, and it'll be interesting to see what Joe Canan will do. Will he go for the sure 3 and bring in Elton?
It'll be from about 36.
That's what he's doing. He wants to get on the board, and I tend to agree with Joe. He needs some points. Try to cut this momentum down to Southeast, even if it's only a field goal. When you got a kicker like Elton, you utilize him. Andy Elton, it'll be a 35-yard attempt. Carl May, the holder. There's a penalty. And it could be a 1st down because it's 4th and 5. Southeast jump. And it is offsides on Southeast. And oh my, what a costly penalty. It will be 4th and inches. And now they're saying it's a 1st down. They changed their mind, so it'll be 1st and 10. And that has to leave Paul Meckley a little upset on the sidelines.
A big penalty.
Biggest penalty of the game so far. Timeout by Southeast, so we'll take a timeout with 9:33 to play in the 1st half. The Seminoles out in front of the Hurricanes, 14-0. A costly penalty on Maurice Lee, offsides, and Manatee has it 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Hurricanes trying to get on the scoreboard. Rodney Sanders looking downfield, has a man, Mays, but it's incomplete. Had Mays open.
He got behind the secondary. He was there. The pass wasn't.
Jesse Price back defending for the Seminoles. Along with Dwight Sutton, number 83.
That was Sanders' 7th attempt. 2 completions for 26 yards.
He's just a little bit off tonight. He had Mays out there. He's a dangerous quarterback when he starts to run. You don't know if he's going to run or throw. 2nd and 10, ball on the 12. Bennett split to this side, and up the middle goes Clark. And he's inside the 10. He gains, give him 4 yards. Washington in on the stop for the Seminoles. As Southeast will get a test now. That's Tom Washington, 5'9", 190-pound linebacker. Him and Wayman Bowden, the standout linebackers for the Southeast Seminoles. 3rd and 5. The ball on the 7. Okay, Sanders wants to run, and he is. Touchdown! Rodney Sanders with a quarterback keeper. He puts the ball down in the end zone and runs off with his hands high in the air. So the Manatee Hurricanes get right back in the football game with a quarterback keeper of 5 yards for Rodney Sanders.
It's worth 6 points, but it's also worth a lot of momentum, and that's been the key for Southeast tonight. They've had that momentum, they've had that intensity. Can they keep it?
That's Sanders' 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And Andy Elton will be on to kick the extra point. It's up and good, Andy Elton. So the Hurricanes get on the scoreboard. Southeast leads 14-7, 8:48 to play in the first half. We'll take a timeout. Back at Hawkins Stadium, the Manatee Hurricanes grouped at the 40-yard line where they will kick off. Andy Elton will kick off. Elton just booted in the extra point to make the score 14-7 Southeast. Ed Brown deep for the Seminoles. Also number 1, Jesse Price. And it's a nice boot, a high end over end, and back in the end zone, and that'll bring it out to the 20. As the rule is, if it's in the end zone, it's at the 20. That's a new rule this year in high school football. Jim, do you like that rule?
That was the same rule when I played high school football about 20 years ago. Things never really do change, Dave.
Gee, that wasn't the rule when I played. Of course, I didn't play 20 years ago, Jim. I won't say when I played, though. I don't want to embarrass you.
It's all right. Tony played 40 years ago.
1st and 10, ball on the 20 for the Seminoles. George Brown, the quarterback, gives to Ed Brown. He gets a couple tough yards out to the 22-yard line. In on the stop for the Hurricanes, number 52, the fine linebacker, Chuck Howard.
If Manatee can shut down the Seminoles this time, just watch that momentum switch around.
We'll give him 2, 2nd and 8 from the 22. Good point. You have to have this huge crowd on your side. Of course, Southeast has a lot of fans here too, but not nearly as many as Manatee. And there's flags on the play. Some movement by Southeast, and boy, you can really see the tide changing here, Jim.
Manatee struggling to keep its 29-game winning streak intact.
Of course, aided by that forfeit last year up at Lakeland, as Lakeland used an ineligible player. Those bad dreadnoughts. How dare they do that?
What is a dreadnought anyway?
I asked a good friend of mine up there, but quite frankly, I forgot. Asked him that a couple of years ago. 2nd and 13. Ball pitched to the deep man. That's Ed Brown. Good running room out over the 25 to the 28-yard line.
Superior execution.
Picks up 11 yards. Close to the first down.
Everything clicked on that play. Nice blocking, nice running.
Third and 2 for Southeast. Big defensive play for the Manatee Hurricanes. Seminoles call a timeout, so we'll take a timeout. 7:28 to play. Southeast on front of Manatee, 14-7. It will be 3rd and 2 for the Southeast Seminoles. The Seminoles out in front tonight on the strong running of tailback Ed Brown and the good play action of quarterback George Brown. Fine faking by Brown. He pitched out early in the game to Ed Brown, and Ed Brown went 69 yards to put Southeast out in front 7-zip. He later scored on a 2-yard play. And Manatee, it looks like, has stopped Southeast short of the first down. Hines Stopped by Zach Samuel, and it will be 4th down and about a yard to go. Let's see. I would think they would kick it away, and they are.
If it hadn't been for that penalty, Dave, Southeast would have had that 1st down easily.
4th and 1, penalties hurting Southeast. Kicking, Tim Rao, and he gets it off. Strong pressure by Farron Horns once again. Brown lets it hit and takes a good bounce for Manatee, and it goes back into Manatee territory. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Canes, the 49-yard line. Farron Horns blasted through the line and barely missed it.
Manatee's only 149 feet from the end zone, Dave.
That's quick calculating. .640 to play. So Southeast brings their defensive unit back on the field. For Manatee, Clark and Gaston, I formation. Sanders pitches to Gaskin. Has some room. He's out to about the 45-yard line. Pickup of 4. He's stopped by Doyce Jackson.
You know, Dave, no matter who wins this game, it's a great day for Manatee County football. This is the #1 team in the state's greatest challenge, and where does it come from? 5 miles to the east, Southeast High School.
Those Miami teams came up here and nothing doing. They were blown out and sent back to Dade County. And Southeast is giving us the Manatee Hurricanes all they want and a little bit more. 2nd and 5, ball spotted on the 45-yard line. Across the middle is Al Clark. He gains a couple yards. It'll be about 3rd and 3, a long 3. Tackle on the play, number 33, Wayman Bowden. Giving Earl Hines a breather, number 76, Robert Hamilton in there, nose guard now. 3rd and 3, Sanders, quick pass to Bennett, 1st down, good play. Bennett is driven out of bounds by Tom Washington, but that was a quick little slant pass.
1st down.
Manatee having to mix it up tonight.
Sanders has only thrown perhaps 20 times in the first
24 times to be exact.
First 3 contests, and I have a feeling he may put it up 24 times tonight.
12 out of 24 for 229 yards coming into the game. Fumble, and Southeast is recovered. The Seminoles, number 44, Tom Washington, coming out of the pack with a football. Gaskin was hit at the line and coughed the football up, and a big, big turnover. Southeast will take over on its own 33-yard line.
Let's see if that momentum goes right back to Southeast this time. Let's see if they can do something here.
One back now, number 41, that's Earl Hines. And he has the ball up the middle. He rambles down to the 38-yard line. Hines. Clyburn in on the stop. One of the fine linebackers for Manatee. Clyburn, Chuck Howard, and Anthony Cucci form a fine offensive, or rather defensive, linebacking unit. 2nd and 5, ball on the 38-yard line. Hines again the single setback. And he again has the football, but he's tackled at the line of scrimmage. That's number 65, Jason Potter. Also Zach Samuel in on the stop. Samuel didn't play last week. Trey Walker played in his spot at defensive end, but he's back in the lineup.
Walker's out with a pull or a tear of a muscle in the hip, I was told. Nothing too serious, but it could cost him a couple games.
Yeah, he'll be back in 2 to 3 weeks. 3rd and 5, ball on the 38-yard line. 3 backs now. And it's the deep man, Stanley Boyd, and he's tackled and hit hard.
Tom Clyburn again, a beautiful hit, number 63.
Boy, he hit him behind the line of scrimmage, and he was finished off by Potter and Zach Samuel, and no gain, so that'll be a punting situation. Good defense by the Hurricanes.
That linebacking core has size, speed, and talent. Hard to beat.
Play a 4-3 defense. Rao will be punting, and not a bad punt, fair catch this time, but he fumbles the ball, and Manatee recovers. That's Larry Taylor having all sorts of problems back there tonight. He decided to fair catch that one, but forgot about catching it.
He probably remembers the last time he fielded a punt and was leveled.
We'll take a quick timeout. 2:42 remaining in the half. Southeast out in front of Manatee, 14-7. Rodney Sanders scrambling. Broken play, but he has some running room out to about the 35-yard line. He's dangerous when he gets in a situation like that.
We saw him last year as a tailback, and we saw the damage he could do. A very good runner. Shifty, quick, fast feet.
First down. He picked up 11 yards. He scored Manatee's only touchdown tonight on a 5-yard run. He has 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. First and 10, ball spotted on the 34. The clock becomes very important now. 2 minutes to play. Sanders wants to throw, has Joe Bennett over the middle. Bennett down to the 40-yard line. Nice play. Joe Bennett tackled on the play by Dwight Sutton. Boy, that was pretty.
Good for 25 yards. Dave, you can see that Manatee has the potential to have a devastating passing attack. Sanders, once he gets his timing down with those receivers towards the end of the season, watch out.
Ball spotted at the 40. First and 10. 1:43 to play. Gaskin has it. Not much running room, but there's a flag on the play. Gaskin maybe picked up a yard. In on the play, Doyce Jackson and James Ball for Southeast. Let's see who the penalty is against. I believe it's Southeast. Yet another costly penalty. Personal foul. Flagrant face mask. Boy, that'll put the ball at the 25-yard line, and that's 3 costly penalties on the Seminoles tonight. Really keeping Manatee in the football game. It'll be first and 10 from the 25, 1:30 to play in the half. Derek Mays to the near side. Joe Bennett to the far side. Pitch back to Gaskin. He's got a lot of room. And he's down inside the 20, inside the 15-yard line. Ball spotted on the 11.
That was the play, Dave, that the Seminoles so effectively shut down in that first quarter.
Iron Perkins on the stop from his cornerback position. Anytime a cornerback makes the tackle. And Manatee is called timeout. And we'll take a timeout. 1:19 to play. Manatee trails Southeast 14-7. The referee has spotted the ball at the 10, so we'll have a first and 10, actually first and goal. I do not believe they can get a first down. Actually, they may be able to, because that ball is spotted a little bit on the other side of the 10, I think, Jim. Actually, the point's probably academic.
About 36 centimeters, I would estimate, Dave.
They need 10 yards for the touchdown. That would be the tying touchdown going into half. Rodney Sanders, the quarterback. Sanders running left. There's a flag on the play. Sanders down to about the 4-yard line, but there's a flag. Let's see what the penalty is all about. Washington in on the stop. Waiting for an indication. Oh, another penalty on Southeast. Didn't see, what was it? Didn't pick it up. All I picked up was against Southeast.
I don't think we've had the actual signal by the referee yet, Dave. All the Manatee players pointing to Southeast. 12 men on the field.
Yes. Sorry about that, Jim. Elbow action in the booth. Well, I guess they figured they haven't been stopping them lately with 11, so they'll try to sneak on an extra player. Didn't work. First and goal from the 5. 1 minute, 4 seconds to play. Sanders gives off to Clark, and no running room for Al Clark. He's tackled by number 41. That's Earl Hines, the big nose guard. So 43 seconds and the clock is ticking down.
We're facing another one of those situations where if Southeast can stop Manatee or at least limit them to a field goal, again, the momentum and intensity shifts.
30 seconds. I would look for an option on Sanders' part, and here it is. Sanders running around, and he's tackled at about the line of scrimmage. 22 seconds, and look for a timeout here, and there is one. Sanders ran the option but could get nowhere. Big Doyce Jackson again in on the stop. And we'll take a timeout. 20 seconds to play. Manatee trying to tie the game up. Southeast leads 14-7. It's been a tremendous half of football here at Hawkins Stadium, Jim. A capacity crowd tonight. And they're being treated to quite a football game. Manatee trying to get in the end zone, but Southeast defense hanging tough.
Well, we know we're seeing one of the best teams in the state, or the best team in the state in Manatee, but you have to put Southeast right there, too. They have to be one of the best in the state.
That just says a lot for Sarasota's defense. And as they held Southeast scoreless. Also, Sarasota went up to Lakeland and played tremendous football up there. So Sarasota's a team to be reckoned with. 3rd and 3. Ball on the 3. Sanders is sacked and he fumbles the ball, and Southeast has recovered. Sanders dropped the football. And let's see who picked it up. Number 85. Ronnie Washington picks it up. Number 85, Ronnie Washington. Boy, oh boy, what a play.
That's going to hurt. Manatee comes away empty after driving down the field in the closing minutes.
Sanders was hit as he dropped back and coughed the football up. And I imagine we'll just see the clock run out, and we will. 3, 2, and 1. Boom, and that's the end of the first half. Southeast goes to the locker room. Paul Meckley has hands in the air. His Seminoles out in front, 14-7. Also sponsoring tonight's telecast, Coast Federal, Wicks Lumber, Pete Renard's Restaurant, Bradenton Lincoln Mercury, Anderson Lawn Mowers, Poucher Pontiac Cadillac, the County Bank, Bill Graham Ford, and Suncoast Subaru. Our halftime show was brought to you by the fine folks at Gattuso's in Music City. And a fine halftime show. We had the good doctor, Dr. Elton on, along with Pittsburgh Pirate pitcher Chris Green.
One of the keys to watch here for Dave in this beginning of the second half is to see who comes out and dominates. It could be the actual key to who's going to win this ball game.
Okay, we're almost ready for kickoff. 24 minutes of football left from Hawkins Stadium. Kicking off will be Andy Elton, the deep man, number 1, Jesse Price, and Ed Brown. Ed Brown, the star tailback, ran for 2 touchdowns, won a 69-yarder in the first half. The Suncoast football, and at its best here on the Suncoast, and Jesse Price has the ball, running out over midfield and gets down to about the 31. I was about to say, really, some of the best football in the state played right here on the Suncoast, Jim, and it takes a team, you mentioned before, a crosstown team right here in Bradenton to give Manatee its toughest game of the year.
Florida has always been a powerhouse for prep football. I would venture to say that right here in this bi-county area, we may have some of the best football in the United States.
All right, 1st and 10, ball on the 31. George Brown quarterbacking Southeast. 14-7, the Seminoles lead. Brown, quarterback keeper, has some running room. Out over the 45, down to the 47-yard line. He almost broke it.
Number 34, Anthony Cucci, the left linebacker, made a perhaps game-saving tackle. Grabbed him by the jersey, allowed himself to be dragged for 5 yards.
That would have been devastating if Brown could have broken the tackle of Cucci.
With his speed, Brown could have had pay dirt.
It's 1st and 10 rather. Ball spotted on the 47-yard line. He picked up about 13 yards on that carry. Brown again, quarterback keeper. He's got running room. He's running for the end zone, and he's tackled down close to the 20-yard line. Hard to see who stopped him on that play. As the Southeast Seminole fans standing up and blocking our view up here in the box, tough to see, but really he was running down the sidelines. The only thing that stopped him was the angle of the Manatee player. I believe it was Scott Fulford had the angle.
It was good for about 50 yards.
50-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10 on the 12-yard line. George Brown.
Nice call by the Seminole coaching staff. The same play twice. We may see it 3 times.
1st and 10, the ball on the 12. We'll keep it right here. 11:05 to play. We're just underway in the second half, and we've had some excitement already with George Brown with a quarterback keeper picking up big yardage. Brown brings his Seminole team up to the line. Handoff. Earl Hines gets maybe a yard. In on the tackle, number 52. That's the fine linebacker, Chuck Howard.
Again, the same style of play.
Legal procedure. But you're right, you know, just enough once or twice up the middle, and then boom, they busted around the end.
Brown could have very easily pulled that ball out of Hines' belly and kept it himself.
Earl Hines playing a fine game, blocking at his fullback position, also running the ball occasionally and playing nose guard. Officials timeout. We'll take a timeout. 10:43 to play. Southeast on top, 14-7. First and 15, George Brown quarterbacking the Seminoles. Brown is going to keep it, looks downfield, has a man, incomplete, in and out of the hands of intended receiver Kevin Daniels.
As that ball fell to the ground, Brown fell to his knees, pounded his helmet in anguish. He had him.
Way on the far side of the field. I had to look for the referee signal because I couldn't see if the ball stayed in Daniels' hands or fell out. He was open, no question about it. 2nd and 15, ball spotted on the 17. Earl Hines, single setback. Brown, quarterback keeper, running for the end zone. Touchdown, George Brown.
If it works, keep doing it.
Play action in the middle, and Brown kept it and ran for a touchdown.
In 3 carries on that drive, Brown racked up 79 yards.
17-yard run for the touchdown, George Brown. Boy, talking about being victimized by the Browns. The kick is good. Tom Warren boots it in, and Southeast has moved out to a 21-7 lead. We'll take a timeout, 10:17 to play in the 3rd quarter. George Brown's 17-yard touchdown run has put the Southeast Seminoles out in front by 2 touchdowns, 21-7. Kicking off will be Tom Warren. Warren boots it down. Picked up by Joe Bennett. Bennett running around the far side. He's tackled and stopped. Guess who's down there? Ed Brown, number 40.
And Southeast has got that momentum and that intensity that is absolutely incredible. Manatee is going to have its hands full.
Ed Brown is going to stay in the game. Ed Brown's playing a little safety now. These guys are Brown, Hines, both Browns, they're doing it all. 1st and 10, ball on the 12 for Manatee. Rodney Sanders is stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Earl Hines playing a fantastic football game at the nose guard.
You really can't give Paul Meckley and his coaching staff too much credit. They're doing everything right tonight.
Well, boy, they're using players both ways. They're doing all it takes to win the football game. Right now, it's looking very good for Southeast, but we've got a lot of football to play. 21-7, 9:18 to play. 2nd down and 12 for the Canes. Sanders wants to throw. Looks downfield, has Derek Mays, and it's a completed pass down about the 22-yard line. Some of the Southeast fans thought that Mays trapped the football, as they'll bring in the chains, I guess, to measure. Good play that time by the Manatee squad.
He was, Mays was wide open again. Sanders barely got him the ball, but the passing attack is there if Manatee wants to go to it.
1st down and 10 for the Manatee Hurricanes. They're going to have to put the ball up and mix it up a little bit. Joe Bennett comes in for the Canes. Mays has been open several times tonight, Jim. He's caught 2 passes, I believe.
And 3 by Bennett.
Ball spotted on the 22-yard line. Clark, maybe a tough yard, maybe 2 yards, out to about the 24-yard line. Wayman Bowden in on the stop, the outstanding sophomore linebacker. We'll give him 2 at 2nd and 8. Official calling timeout for some reason. We'll keep it right here. 8:41 to play. A capacity crowd at Hawkins Stadium watching a fine football game. Southeast out in front 21-7. We're set to go. Rodney Sanders drops back, wants to throw, scrambling, flag on the play. He's dropped. Number 35, James Ball, but there's a flag on the play.
That body you saw hurling through the air, dressed in Seminole white and blue, was Earl Hines.
Penalty on the Canes. Pushing. Illegal block, so the penalty this time hurts the Hurricanes. It hurt the Seminoles in the first half. 3 costly penalties.
Earl Hines had Rodney Sanders dead in his sights, played like Superman, and took a leap. But Sanders stepped out of the way.
Southeast coaches urging the Seminole defense on. 2nd and 7, ball, not 7. After that penalty. About, we'll call it 2nd and 18. Ball spotted on the 15-yard line. Sanders hands off to Gaskin. He's corralled at the line of scrimmage. Ronnie Washington in on the stop. Gaskin couldn't find much running room, maybe a couple yards. Boy, that Southeast defense is playing tremendous football.
A great night for the Seminole team, for the fans and the school.
But remember, we've got a quarter and a half of football remaining, and Manatee is the top-ranked team in the state, capable of exploding at any time. 2nd and 13. 3rd and 13. Sanders wants to throw, looks over the middle. Oh, almost intercepted.
He would have been gone.
Dwight Sutton had the ball in his hands.
He would have been gone.
The Seminole defense holds. And Manatee will be forced to kick the football. Joe Bennett will come on to punt. Bennett, again a low snap, gets it in a short kick. It bounces over midfield, takes a real good roll for the Hurricanes and down to the 40-yard line. Boy, what a roll. They certainly missed Trey Walker.
Southeast is only 60 yards from making it a blowout, perhaps.
21-7, 7:11 to play in the third quarter. The Southeast offense back on the field. They've been led by Ed Brown and George Brown. Those two youngsters have scored the touchdowns tonight. 1st and 10, ball on the 40, I formation. Hines doesn't get anything. He's tackled at the line of scrimmage by Chris Betts.
Once again, the Southeast coaching staff is setting up the Hurricanes for another end run by Brown.
Earl Hines didn't really explode off the ball that much, but can you blame him? He's going both ways.
If the Hurricanes go for Brown as he circles the end, then it's going to be open for Hines up the middle.
It's Hines and Stanley Boyd in the backfield. Kevin Daniels wide to the near side. Stanley Boyd doesn't get anything, maybe a yard loss. Jason Potter in on the tackle. Third down and 10, ball on the 40. Crowd quiet for the moment. Passing situation. Brown drops straight back, looking downfield, and overthrows his intended receiver.
That was Brown's 4th attempt of the night, that's all. 1 completion and 4 attempts.
That was Jesse Price out there. The ball was overthrown, but Price was covered well. So 4th and 10. Is that a shoe? And flying off on the sideline.
Southeast 198 yards rushing already.
Rowell back to punt. Gets off a pretty good kick. And Manatee lets it bounce, and it's down inside the 10-yard line. Larry Taylor didn't want anything to do with that football.
Rowell does a nice job punting. He gets that ball very quickly.
Ball on the 7 where Manatee will take over 1st and 10. The Canes need to get their offense clicking to get back in the football game. I believe Southeast may have called a timeout. We'll take a timeout. 21-7, Southeast, 5:23 remaining in the third. Back at Hawkins Stadium, the ball was moved out to the 20 after that punt.
Are you asking me why, Dave?
Don't really know why. But nevertheless, Clark ran the ball for 9 yards just now, so it's 2nd and 1 for the Manatee Hurricanes. Ball on the 29. Sanders wants to throw. Scrambling, he drops it off to Gaskin, and Gaskin has a little bit of running room, but good pursuit. And Gaskin has the first down over the 30, but the important thing is he avoided a big sack. There is a penalty flag down.
Nice play by Rodney Sanders. Pure athletic ability once again.
Penalty on the Canes. Illegal block.
Looks like it might have been holding.
Like blocking below the waist, possibly. And that'll move the football back as Gaskin had scampered for the first down, but that's a big penalty.
You know, Dave, the difference in this game and all the others that Manatee's played is they have simply just overpowered their previous opponents. But tonight, the Seminoles can't be or won't be overpowered.
Manatee's in a hole. They have the ball on their own 12-yard line, 2nd and 18. Sanders brings his crew up, wants to throw, looks downfield, and it's overthrown. Intended receiver Derek Mays. Covering on the play for Southeast, Steve Thomas. Also Ed Brown over there. So Manatee forced into throwing the football. We have an injured player on the field, so we'll take a timeout. 4:16 to play. Southeast out in front of Manatee, 21-7. 3rd and 18. Rodney Sanders has gone out of the game. Carl May, the backup quarterback, fumbles the snap. And there's also a flag on the play, so let's sort it out and see what happens. Gaskin recovered the ball. Apparently there isn't a flag. I thought I saw one of those handkerchiefs come out, but no. Carl May came in, fumbled the ball. Rodney Sanders, it appears, only had cramps, Jim, but he went out for that one play. In any event, Manatee will be forced to kick in their own end zone. Joe Bennett. Low snap again. Bennett handles it, gets the kick out, and George Brown calls for a fair catch, and Southeast will have tremendous field position on the Manatee 30-yard line. Tonight's game is brought to you by Group W and the Bradenton Herald. Also sponsoring tonight's telecast, Coast Federal, Wicks Lumber, Pete Renard's Restaurant, Bradenton Lincoln Mercury, Anderson Lawnmowers, Coucher Pontiac Cadillac, the County Bank, Bill Graham Ford, and Suncoast Subaru. 1st and 10 for the Seminoles. Ball on the 30-yard line. 3:50 to play in the 3rd. It's getting late. George Brown off to Hines. He rumbles ahead for 5 to 6 yards.
A crucial defensive stand here for Manatee. They've got to do something good here.
Okay, Southeast now has Darrell Campbell in at fullback. He ran that first play. Campbell replacing Earl Hines is getting a breather. Campbell gets another call. He's fresh. He gets a couple yards off right tackle. And I figured sooner or later Earl Hines has got to take a breather.
Right now, I suppose they want Earl for his defensive abilities rather than offensive.
That'll bring up a big 3rd down. Look for Brown on possibly a quarterback keeper. 3rd and 2. Stanley Boyd playing a flank left. Darrell Campbell in the backfield is the single setback. George Brown keeps it, and he is awful close to the 1st down. Have to see where the ball's spotted. If he doesn't get it, I wouldn't be surprised to see Southeast go for it. Fourth down and a yard. 4th and 1. The Seminoles call timeout. They want to talk it over, so we'll take a break. Southeast still leading Manatee 21-7. Back at Hawkins Stadium, Dave Bristow and Jim Curtis. Here's the situation. 2:36 left to play in the 3rd period. Southeast has a 21-7 lead. The Seminoles have the ball 4th and 1 on the 21-yard line of Manatee. Southeast is going for it, and this could be the play of the game. Right now it is. Manatee has to hold. Brown quarterbacking. Campbell in motion. Quarterback sneak. It will be close. We'll have to see where the referee spots Brown's forward progress. It's awful close. I won't venture to guess. Manatee players saying no way. Southeast players saying we got it. And it appears they're short. We're waiting. They're bringing in the flags. Both teams celebrating. A little bit premature on both sides. looks like it's going to be short. And it is a couple inches short, and Manatee is held. The middle of that defensive line held. That's Cheese, Potter, Betts, Clyburn, Howard, all ganged up.
You know, I wonder with the success they've had with George Brown running that option. Second guess, armchair quarterback.
I guess they just figured they needed a couple inches, so go for the sneak, but that's what Manatee was looking for. And the Hurricanes take over 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line. Sanders back in the game, back to throw, looking downfield for Bennett. He drops the ball.
Oh!
Joe Bennett.
Wide open.
Boy, oh boy, and the only thing you can think of is one of the Seminole defensive backs had their hands up and blocked the fly to the pass.
I know Joe Bennett has to be feeling terrible right now. That would have been 7 points and put the Hurricanes right back in it.
Bennett was behind Iron Perkins and Dwight Sutton.
The longer we go on, Dave, it looks like this is not the Hurricanes' night.
2:16 to play in the third quarter. Southeast out in front, 21-7. 2nd and 10 for the Canes. Quarterback keeper Sanders has some running room, drops the football, and there's a big scramble. The referee is down, and Manatee is recovered. Boy, oh boy, what a dogfight. The referee's down on the ground. Let's hope he's not hurt.
There's a Southeast player injured, however.
Gee, Merry Christmas.
Did you see what I see? I think, Dave, I'm not sure, but it looked like Rodney Sanders tried to lateral that football. He turned around backwards like he was going to try to pitch.
He's done that a couple times, and we've said it could be costly later in the season. We'll take a timeout with an injured Seminole player on the field. Southeast leading with 2:06 to play in the third, 21-7. The injured player, number 83, Dwight Sutton, being helped from the field. That's not good news. The star-strong safety for the Seminoles doesn't appear to be serious, but he is limping. 1st and 10 as Manatee fumbled the football, Tracy Sanders, but they retain possession. Sanders hands off. Al Clark gets out near the 40-yard line. And it really, Jim, right now, Manatee cannot panic. It's only 21-7. They need to get a nice drive here. And, you know, they could score maybe a couple minutes in, even into the fourth quarter. They're right in the football game.
Plenty of time, Dave. It looks like, though, they are getting desperate. That play by Sanders, I didn't believe my eyes.
2nd and 4, ball spotted on the 39. Sanders hands off to Al Clark. Clark running for some tough yardage, gets the first down. Flag on the play. Bowden in on the stop. Southeast ticketed for a personal foul. That's costly because that'll be 15 yards and move the ball into Southeast territory.
A very similar penalty as in the second quarter when Manatee gobbled up big yardage and then had 15 yards tacked on it.
Ball on the 37-yard line. 1st and 10 for Manatee. 1:08 to play in the third. What Joe Cadan wants, of course, is a touchdown before the end of the quarter. Sanders running with a football. Good pursuit, and he's tackled at the line of scrimmage. Number 95, Big Doyce Jackson in there, along with Tommy Washington. Sanders picked up a yard. He's at the 37. Waiters checks into the game. Second and 9 for the Canes. Sanders drops back, wants to throw. It's incomplete. That's Dwight Sutton back in the game.
Almost picked off. A wounded duck.
And we'll take a timeout with 22 seconds to play. The score, that's 22 in the third period, 21-7 Southeast. Back at Hawkins Stadium, 3rd and 9. Sanders drops back, looking downfield. He's being chased. The ball's incomplete. Good pressure put on the quarterback by Earl Hines. Steve Thomas broke up the pass. It was intended for Joe Bennett. That'll bring up a 4th and 9 situation. Let's see what Joe Canan orders here. Carl May coming into the game. That would signal a long field goal. Carl May's the holder, and here comes Elton. Let me see, 37, 47, 50, 3 yards.
Elton did kick a 51-yarder last year, but it was aided by the wind.
Timeout, Manatee. Let's see if Joe Canan changes his mind with a timeout. We'll take a timeout. 17 seconds to play in the third. Southeast out in front of Manatee, 21-7.
You might as well go for it.
Dave Bristow is Jim Curtis. Jim, what'd you say?
I said you might as well go for it.
17 seconds to play in the third period. Andy Elton had come out to attempt what would be a 54, 53-yard field goal. And it looks like Manatee may have had a change of heart as the offensive unit is coming back on, led by the quarterback, Rodney Sanders.
When I said you might as well go for it, I meant that they might as well go for the first down. Andy Elton's a tremendous kicker, but 54 yards with no wind.
4th and 9. I formation. Gaskin the deep man. It's a reverse. Joe Bennett has a lot of running room, and he has the first down. What a play. What a play call.
Gutsy call.
You can hear the Southeast defensive coaches up here in the booth screaming reverse, but I guess the players couldn't hear him. First down. What a call by Joe Canan and his offensive coaches. And that will run down time in the third quarter. And there's the gun. So Manatee will retain possession of the football on a reverse as they gain the first down. Joe Bennett gets the first down. One more period of play. 12 minutes. Southeast still leading Manatee 21-7. The Hurricanes have it 1st and 10. Ball on the 24-yard line of the Southeast Seminoles. Homecoming tonight, but so far, all the festivities being ruined by the Southeast Seminoles. Capacity crowd tonight.
Manatee's 28-game winning streak on the line here. If they can win tonight, Dave, it'll be 29 in a row and will tie the record, the second longest winning streak in state history.
The Canes, 24 yards to go to get into the end zone. 21-7 Southeast. We're ready for fourth quarter action. Derek Mays in motion. Handoff to Gaskin. There's a flag on the play. Gaskin gets about 3 yards. He's tackled by Wayman Bowden. There's a flag, illegal motion on the Hurricanes. Just as they get something going, something stops them.
That's 7 penalties tonight on the Canes for 55 yards.
In the first half, it was penalties hurting Southeast, rather. The second half, they're hurting Manatee. That, of course, isn't real costly. It just stops the momentum. 1st and 15, ball on the 29-yard line. Big Earl Hines playing at nose guard still for Southeast. Sanders wants to throw, looking downfield, and the ball is incomplete. Intended receiver, Joe Bennett.
Bennett did a nice job to come back and at least knock that ball down. He had a chance of being intercepted.
That'll bring up 2nd and 15. Injured player for the Seminoles. So we'll take a timeout with 11:36 remaining to play in the game. Southeast 21, Manatee 7. The Southeast player down was Ed Brown, but he runs off the field. Ed playing a little safety along with his tailbacking duties. 2nd and 15, ball on the 29. Manatee needs a touchdown desperately. Sanders running left, looks downfield. Ball is incomplete on the far side. So that'll bring up a 3rd down. Intended receiver, number 24, Derek Mays.
In the second half, Sanders has tried 8 passes and only completed 1. For the night, he's 5 for 17 for 72 yards.
I want to remind everyone that you can catch high school football every Friday night on WTRL. WTRL will carry the Manatee Merritt Island game this coming Friday. That game on the East Coast, so you all want to tune into that. That's Manatee at Merritt Island on WTRL. The delayed game right after that will be Bayshore at Palmetto. Sanders runs to his left. Looks like he wants to run. He's a quarterback keeper. He's down over the 25-yard line near the 20. And he'll be short of the 1st down, and that will set up a 4th down situation.
Another crucial 4th down.
Ball on the 17. He got inside the 20. That will be, what, about 3rd and 3? 4th and 3, rather?
They'll be going for it.
4th and 3. Another big 4th down, Jim.
Think we'll see another razzle-dazzle, Dave?
I don't know. I would think it might be a keeper, but with Gaskin back there, he hasn't seen the ball much tonight.
There he goes.
But Sanders keeps it. He has the 1st down. Rodney Sanders. He had Gaskin out there. He could have pitched it, but he elected to keep it himself, and it was a good decision. 1st and goal. The ball spotted on the 7, and here come the Canes. When will they go for 2 if they score a touchdown? Now or later? Will they score the touchdown?
They're going to stay in the game. They've got to, Dave. It's now or never.
1st and goal. Sanders lines up the Canes. Up the middle to Clark. He doesn't get very much. Tackle by Doyce Jackson. Give him 2. The Canes are 5 yards away from the end zone. Joe Bennett brings in a play.
It's interesting to note tonight that Gaskins only has carried the ball 7 times, once in the second half.
Yes, he's been really out of the picture. Officials timeout. We'll keep it right here. 9:43 to play. We've got a whale of a finish. Don't go away. 21-7. The Canes simply have to get in and score and then buckle down on defense. Southeast, on the other hand, if they can keep Manatee out of the end zone, Jim, very good chance of going on to win this game.
Pete Schamberger in, number 31.
Schamberger, the fullback. And a little flare out to Gaskins, and Southeast stops him. That was a strange play.
Sanders freelancing again, a creative quarterback.
Ball inside the 10 at about, the 6-yard line. He actually lost a yard on that razzle-dazzle.
The only thing good about it increased Sanders' stats. That was his 6th completion.
Sanders was about to get sacked, and he simply dumped it out to Gaskin, the safety valve. The ref is signaling for a timeout as the Southeast coaches were yelling that, hey, either get the sub in or get a timeout, and the referee signals a timeout against Manatee. And we'll take a timeout. 9:17 to play. Southeast out in front, but Manatee threatening 21-7. Okay, in case you're wondering, there is a tiebreaker in high school football. We won't get into it, until a little bit later on, because there's no need to it unless we need to get into it, right, Jim?
That's right. It's a real nail biter here, I'll tell you. I'm starting to get a little nervous.
Because Southeast has a 14-point lead, and they're not thinking anything about a tie right now. Manatee would love to see it go to a tiebreaker right now.
In fourth down territory, they'll go 2 downs if they need to. Right now, it's 3rd and goal from the 6.
Fumble.
And a fumble, and there's a flag on the play, and that could be unnecessary roughness. Manatee got the football back, but the player was thrown to the ground, and have to wait and see who the flag's on.
That was 3rd down. It would have been 4th and 6. Let's see what happens.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, and boy, oh boy, does that hurt the Seminoles. That will put the ball half the distance to the goal. So, set it about the 3-yard line. And it should be a first down.
That should be an automatic first down.
Let's see, the referees look a little bit confused, but they're sorting everything out. He's walking the penalty off. Okay, he's just marking off now halfway. It's down at about the 3-yard line. Let's see if he signals first down.
No first down.
Okay, dead ball foul, so I guess they don't get the first down.
4th down.
4th and 3.
Big play.
4th and 3, this is it. Sanders drops back, throwing to the corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Southeast is held. Ed Brown back there blocking the play. What a play. Tremendous defense by Southeast. Ball thrown in the corner of the end zone, and it was blocked away.
The Canes were hoping that Joe Bennett would be able to outleap the defender. He almost did.
It'll be 1st and 10, the ball on the 3-yard line. Look for Southeast to keep it on the ground, but you never know. Brown hands off a couple yards. That's Darrell Campbell, the fullback. He gets a couple 3 yards.
Yeah, that fumble with the waning seconds of the first half by Sanders when the Canes were down knocking on the door is a monumental play right now.
The big play could have gone into the locker room tied. Instead, they went in down. Another running play, and again, not much room.
The clock ticking down. Southeast's greatest ally. 8:13.
That'll bring up a 3rd and 8. So, 8 minutes to play. Let's see what Southeast will do. I wouldn't put the ball up here, Jim. Simply too close to your end zone.
I would run George Brown around the end.
That'd be a safe play. 3rd and 8, ball on the 5-yard line. Brown hands off to Stanley Boyd. He stumbles and falls at the line of scrimmage, so quickly, Southeast is stopped by Manatee, and that's exactly what the Canes defense had to do, and they did it. Not much time went off the clock. 7:25 to play.
Look for the block here from the Canes. A quick safety or a touchdown if they can manage it.
Look for Farron Horns, number 21. He's on the left side of the line.
Closest to the punter's foot.
The kicker, Tim Rowell. His biggest punt of his life.
There goes.
He gets it off, and it's a pretty good kick. Actually, a very good kick. Out at the 46-yard line. A fine job by Tim Rowell.
He gets rid of that ball very quickly. One quick step.
Got a nice kick and a nice roll, and the Canes will take over with just under 7 minutes to play. Right now, Coach Paul Meckley using his frontline offensive players on defense and resting them on offense. 1st and 10. Gaskin and Clark at the back. Sanders drops back. Incomplete pass.
And the Southeast defensive backs just watching and waiting.
Steve Thomas with a fine play. Bennett was the intended receiver. Quite a shocker at Hawkins Stadium. Southeast came into the game 28-point underdog by the Dunkel rating. 2nd and 10. Sanders back to throw again, scrambling, looking downfield. Ball is up, and it's knocked down, incomplete. The receiver slipped and fell. That was Joe Bennett who fell.
You know, Tony Conboy wrote in one of his columns this week that the new Bayshore Stadium was the miracle on 34th Street. Very true. But right here in Manatee, it's going to take another miracle.
Yes, it will, with 6:30 to play. 3rd and 10. Ball on the 46-yard line of Southeast. Mays is wide to your far side. Donnie Waiters to the near side. Sanders looks down. He has Bennett complete. Or rather, that's Derek Mays, number 24. 1st down and 10. It also stops the clock. And the clock becomes very important as we have 6:25 to play.
Sanders' 3rd completion of the night. He's only 7 for 22 for 85 yards.
I guess he didn't get out of bounds on the play. He stopped it for the 1st down chain, and they started it back up. In high school and college, the clock is stopped to spot the ball for the 1st down and move the chain. Sanders back to throw again, steps up in his pocket, hits the ball off, but I do believe they're going to rule him down.
In the graph. A good call. Seminoles' 3rd sack of the night.
Guess who had him? Joyce Jackson.
Big number 95.
.5:55 to play. Southeast coaches screaming to keep the clock rolling.
They can smell victory. They're excited.
2nd down. Sanders back to throw. Looks over the middle, intercepted. And the ball is down to the 34-yard line. On the interception is number 40, guess who? Ed Brown. What a game that young man has played.
They need a big play. Ed Brown is there.
We're going to name a Group W player of the game at the conclusion of this game. And there's been a lot of standouts for Southeast, but if everything remains the same, my vote would have to go for that young man, Ed Brown.
2 touchdowns.
Flag on the play goes against Manatee, and everything seems to be going against the Canes. Boy, are these Southeast fans happy. Why shouldn't they be? They're beating the number 1 ranked team in the state and the number 20 ranked team in the country. When does the fat lady sing at Hawkins Stadium? I hear her kind of low right now. She's starting to sing. 1st and 10, ball on the 49-yard line of the Seminoles. George Brown gives off to Stanley Boyd. Boyd gets nothing. He's run out of bounds.
Tonight tonight, Dave, there's no doubt about it. Who has been the better football team? And that's the Southeast Seminoles. Win or lose, they have outplayed Manatee.
No question about it. Southeast came into this game fired up, and they've got a fine, fine football team. No question about it. Ed Brown checks back into the game.
Manatee's real first test of the season. Tampa Chamberlain, they blew them out, what, 56-7? One easy game after another.
56-7, 46, and 42-6. Chamberlain, Killian, and Northwestern.
And then all of a sudden, the Southeast Seminoles. Big difference.
Yes, indeed, and you have to think that this Southeast team is a team to be reckoned with. They lost to Sarasota 7-0. Sarasota unbeaten. Maybe. They play tonight against a pretty good Coral Gables team. Of course, they play Friday night. You're seeing this game on a Monday night. 2nd and 10, ball on the 49-yard line. The clock beginning to play a big part in this game. Flag down, and too much time.
We can see the crowd is starting to move towards the exit on the Manatee side. They're
A
starting
shot
to filter
crowd.
out.
My wife will be a little upset. Back for homecoming. He's a graduate of Manatee High. Of course, I'm impartial.
That's so.
Grew up on the East Coast over in Palm Beach, so I'm a West Palm Beach North Shore fan. They won't be invading this territory anytime soon.
I'll have to admit, to see Manatee lose his streak is sad. On the other hand, you got to give all the credit to the Southeast coaching staff and to the players. A tremendous effort.
And Dave Hall just said, what about those Iowa Hawkeyes? Well, I'll say what about them as soon as they play some competition. I don't quite call the Drake Bulldogs a football powerhouse, but they played Michigan State over the weekend. We'll have to wait and talk about that next week.
Where is Iowa? I've always wondered kind of where it's located.
Just go north till you hit the cornfields and you're right there. 4:23 to play. The Southeast Seminoles on the verge of a mighty, mighty upset. Coach Paul Meckley walking off the field right now. You don't think he's happy?
He may be pinching himself. Are they
I was
actually
over
going to do it?
Southeast practice yesterday. They've got a big squad, no question about it. They have some size. I was amazed by the size of some of their young men. 2nd and 15. George Brown, the fine senior quarterback. Hands off, not much running room as Southeast just trying to grind it out. Earl Hines back in the game. Hines and Brown going both ways.
The name of the game for Southeast has been defense. Manatee has come in here in 3 games, scored 138 points. Tonight, a measly 7.
3rd and 13. Clock ticking down. Now stop, but it's inside of 4 minutes. Can Manatee stop him? Can they score a touchdown? Can Andy Elton kick an onside kick? That's looking way ahead.
A lot of ifs there, Dave.
Sure, he can kick an onside kick. Can he kick a successful onside kick? Will he get the opportunity to kick an onside kick? Or will Southeast simply run the clock out and go home with a 21-7 lead? I sound like Jack Buck, the baseball announcer of the Cardinals. I was listening to the game against the Mets the other night. Jack asking those questions. Can the Cardinals hang on? And they did. And hopefully, they're the Eastern Division champions on this Monday night.
The big difference between Jack Buck and you, Dave, is he gets paid a lot more than you do.
Couple dollars more. Third and 13. The Seminoles just want that clock to keep ticking down. George Brown is going to keep it. He's running around, and he's tackled way back at the 35-yard line. Chris Betts in on the stop. Manatee uses it. It's last time out. I believe it's the last time out the Hurricanes have. 3:24 to play, 21-7. It will be 4th and long, and the Hurricanes really need one of 2 things, a block kick or a run back. Robert Frazier running off the field. 250-pound tackle.
We saw Southeast at Palmetto in the first half. Both teams didn't look too good. Palmetto looked like a JV team compared to Southeast size, but I didn't think Southeast looked so good that night. And I really thought tonight that they could not play with the Hurricanes. I apologize to the Seminoles and all their supporters.
Tonight's game brought to you by Group W, the Bradenton Herald. Co-sponsors Coast Federal, Wicks Lumber, Pete Renards, Bradenton Lincoln Mercury, Anderson Lawn Mowers, Poucher Pontiac Cadillac, the County Bank, Bill Graham Ford, and Suncoast Subaru. 3:24 to play. Southeast is now taking a timeout. And we'll take a timeout. 3:24 to play in the game. Southeast on top of Manatee, 21-7. Tim Rao will be doing the punting. A strong rush, but Rao gets off the kick once again, and it's another good kick. But it takes a Manatee bounce this time, hits a player, and will be down at about the 35-yard line. Fantastic job by Tim Rao kicking the ball tonight.
You know, Dave, I wish we had Tony here tonight. We need somebody to sing "Turn Out the Lights, the Party's Over."
Yeah, Tony. Could be the fat lady, but... Tony over breaking ground on the Bayshore Stadium tonight. 3:13 to play, a shocker. 21-7 Southeast. Seminole fans starting to celebrate a little on the sidelines. Manatee fans still in shock. They're not moving. If they are moving, they're moving toward their cars to get out of here.
Stay tuned, however. You can never tell.
Next week, we'll have a good one. Bayshore at Palmetto, both teams off to good starts. 1st and 10. Look for Sanders to throw the football, and he can't get it off as he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Number 52, Maurice Lee. Also, Joyce Jackson.
The 4th sack of the night for the Seminoles.
The clock inside of 3 minutes, 2:52 to play. And boy, oh boy, would you ever have thought it. Sanders has some time, gets it out. Gasket is hit hard as he catches the ball. Oh my, Wayman Bowden, what a hit.
The thing that really amazes me tonight is Manatee has always had these awesome offensive lines, yet the Seminole defensive line has really handled them. 4 sacks, shut down the running game.
James Ball, Joyce Jackson, Earl Hines, Donnie Newman, Maurice Lee, Ronnie Washington. They've all played outstanding football.
It's hard to name the player of the game, the Southeast Seminole defensive line, but that's probably who really deserves it. That's the key to the game right here.
It is, but then again, it's hard to not give it to a guy that ran 69 yards and intercepted a pass, but really you should just give it to the whole team.
And the coaching staff.
2 minutes to play from Hawkins Stadium, 3rd and 18. Sanders looking down, gives the long heave-ho pass. We should have a flag on the play, and we do. As Joe Bennett went down, he was tripped at about the 40-yard line. That's pass interference.
Did you see that throw by Sanders? He really didn't have his feet set, yet he heaved a spiral a good 50 to 60 yards.
That was Steve Thomas back there defending. And I'm sure that's defensive pass interference, really, any way you look at it. They got their feet tangled up. Bennett went down. Minute 55 to play. This will snap Manatee's long, long streak. Oh, what? Oh, my. They're putting the flag back in their pocket, obviously saying the ball was not catchable. So, they're saying that Bennett couldn't have got to the ball. I don't know really how you could say that, because He was interfered with so far from where the ball was thrown. But I guess that's the call.
When you're the referee, you can say anything you want. The Southeast fans liked it, that's for sure.
Well, that'll bring up a 4th down, and this is it.
Seminoles in a prevent defense way back.
They're calling a timeout. I don't think he has anymore. He does it. There's a flag, and boy, all sorts of things going wrong now for Manatee. It'll go as a delay of game. Well, I don't think even Manatee can pull this miracle out. Southeast, a tremendous, tremendous football game. They've played their hearts out. The coaching staff prepared this team well. The team executed, and they're a minute 55 away from a large upset. Sanders, 4th and 23, as he pitches back, and that'll be a fumble. That'll be a lateral. Southeast will pick it up in desperation. Sanders threw it down, and that'll do it. There's no timeouts. Southeast, the defense running off the field. High fives everywhere. There's Wayman Bowden, Steve Thomas, James Ball, the fine sophomore, being congratulated. Ronnie Washington, Maurice Lee. Hats off to the Southeast Seminoles. No doubt they'll vault into the top 10.
The upset of the year, easily.
The crowd now starting to file out. And we'll have our player of the game coming up. I would simply like to give it to the entire Southeast team. We'll talk about it a little bit.
I would second that. And the coaching staff.
Of course, we'll single out some performances as the clock winds down. First of all, let's single out some offensive performances. How about Ed Brown? Ed Brown with a fine night.
A tremendous night, 2 touchdowns, 1 for 69 yards. He didn't do much the second half, saving him for defense instead. And what about George Brown? Incredible. In the first half, he only ran 2 times for 12 yards, but in the second half, he exploded 84 yards on 5 carries.
Tremendous job faking the football, too. 1st and goal from the 8-yard line. Let's see what Southeast will do. Flag on the play. Earl Hines with a fine game at his fullback position. He blocked awful well. Also ran the ball several times and played nose guard. Ed Brown, we mentioned him at tailback. He also intercepted a pass playing safety. Penalty is on Southeast. Well, to tell you the truth, I'm surprised, of course, that Southeast won the game, but even more so surprised by the score. 21-7, 2 touchdowns.
When you look back to the last game of last year, when Manatee lost to Lakeland, and then you take the 3 games here, all victories, and then his 4th game, that's actually 2 Manatee losses in the last 5 games. Even though that game with Lakeland was overturned because of a Lakeland eligible player.
Jim, this isn't a district game, so it doesn't hurt Manatee in the district. Their only district games will be against Sarasota and Riverview. Southeast, a 4A team, hasn't played a district game yet. We'll have that Manatee-Riverview game coming up. That'll be October 18th, right here from Hawkins Stadium, Sarasota, Riverview, and Manatee. Then we'll have Manatee and Pinellas Park. Then a doubleheader, Riverview, East Bay, and Southeast, and Cardinal Mooney Palmetto. Back in action. The clock will just wind down.
Well, maybe not. We may see another Southeast touchdown. Put a little salt in the wounds of the Hurricanes.
Could. I don't know if that'd be wise or not.
Well, they don't have to play him until next year. And maybe not even next year.
Minute 11 to play. A Southeast player is down on the field. Maybe exhausted. A minute 11 to play. That's how much time remaining in this big upset.
There's really no such thing as a county championship. It's mythical, but if it is, it goes to the Southeast Seminoles.
Dave Hall says number 40-something. I would imagine either 41 or 42. That would be Earl Hines or Stanley Boyd or Ed Brown, number 40. It is Ed Brown. He just had a cramp, and of course, playing the kind of game he's played, I could see why he would have a cramp. He's been all over the football field on both offense and defense. He's a worn-out young man. Campbell rushing to get off the sidelines, and he does. We're inside of a minute. Brown simply falls on the football. That's a class act by Coach Paul Meckley. He says, hey, we got a 21-7 lead, and that's fine for me. 46, there's no more timeouts for Manatee. They're out of timeouts. Clock will simply wind down. Brown will fall on the ball one more time. Southeast will get out of here with a big win. The biggest win, I would say, of Southeast history. I think that's a pretty safe statement.
I would go along with that. I wonder how many Hurricanes are watching tonight's game on Group W. It's got to be a painful thing, especially for Joe Canan, to watch his team actually just torn apart by the Seminoles. Manatee did not look impressive in any department. Passing did not work. 7 out of 23, 1 interception, a mere 85 yards. The ground game shut down in effect. Only 7 points.
Brown will fall on the ball again. He does it. And 23, that'll be it. And Joe Canan has to regroup his squad now to go against the tough Merritt Island squad on the road. That's not an easy task. As players come out and congratulate one another, sportsmanship, these crosstown, look at Rodney Sanders. That's sportsmanship right there, fans. He's coming over. Coach Paul Meckley is on the shoulders of his team. And that's it. The clock has run down, and Southeast has pulled off the impossible. They've beaten Manatee 21-7. We'll be back to recap this tremendous football game right after this.